very controversial opinion, I don't believe James Gunn was a good choice to run DC. I think he's an incredible filmmaker. I think he does not know how to build a universe, because right now, what DC is going to have at the end of the day, at the end of the first 5 years, mind you, 5 years of DC projects, within the first 5 years, we had Avengers and all these other things.
Yeah.
We had all of this after 5 years. And I'm not saying that DC needs to be Marvel, but DC is very focused on making really good projects. Well, Supergirl was whatever. Peacemaker is controversial. We both enjoyed Peacemaker, but it still had its flaws. But Clayface, again, the whole thing with Clayface, I guarantee you it's going to be a good movie, just like Lanterns is going to be a good show. But you're making a Clayface movie before you even have a Batman, and then how are you going to make Clayface a villain if you're going to try to spend the whole movie sympathizing with him? Clayface is never going to be a Batman villain if you make a whole movie making us feel bad for him, and then Batman's supposed to kick his ass in the next, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't set up a universe that's focusing on telling a good story of a character, but not building a universe. And I think that's what DC is going to struggle with. You can say, oh, well, that's just the direction that DC wants to go. It is. That's not necessarily how the superhero foundation should be built, in my opinion.
Well, and look, let's look at the Batman universe, for example here, because it's not connected to our universe as of now. As of now, it's not.
Let's hope not.
I love everything that universe has done so far.
The Batman one and Penguin.
And hot take, I'm just going to be honest, this is going to be a hot take, and I don't know how many people actually are going to agree with me. This is just, when I watched it for the first time, I was blown away by it, and I know you haven't seen it yet. I prefer the Penguin to the Batman. I think the Penguin might be one of the best things DC's done in the past 10 years. That being said, it's also very unfair to call the Penguin a superhero or supervillain show, because it's very much a seedy underbelly, dark, gritty crime thriller. And unfortunately, with shows like in Gunn's universe, they're not going to be that. They're all clearly trying to build with a Avengers level world, but you're not getting there. And also with something like Supergirl, which you liked more than I did, but I'll
be honest, I've come lower on it as I've thought about it. I'm still a little higher than average, but the more I think about it, the more I
really did not like Supergirl, and that was a misstep in my mind. I'm not saying this show is going to be a misstep here, but it all goes back to what I said initially and what I said at the very beginning. This just doesn't feel like a Green Lantern's show. So on a show basis, it already doesn't really go that well. But as a universe as a whole, with what you've already shown us you've planned, there doesn't seem to be a real good connective tissue here like it did with the original. And I get if he's trying not to copy the original MCU,